What's going on, everybody? Welcome and thank you for coming through. This is another edition of Midnight Matinee with the Worst Damn Gamer. I am your host, the Worst Damn Gamer Ever, aka Chris. I hope you've been enjoying the content thus far. If you haven't, make sure you go back and check out some episodes. This here podcast started out with the MCU. We do reviews, do discussions, we talk about things. A lot of those episodes are spoilers, so spoiler alert, spoiler alert. But if you're down with the MCU, if you want to catch some great content, make sure you're hitting the like, the subscribe button, hitting that bell so you know when it all drops. We'd appreciate if you get down in the comments so that we can keep a conversation going and get your input on all of the content, movies that we talk about in review, and everything else that's game related, Hollywood, TV, all that stuff. Hope you look forward to the short form content that we put up for you on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, all the places. On this edition, since I am the worst damn gamer ever, it is pretty fitting considering Uncharted just came out on stream. I finally got a chance to watch it. Finally got a chance to get my thoughts together on it and give you guys my impressions. Here we go. This is the worst damn gamer ever talking to you about Uncharted. Now, I absolutely loved the Uncharted series. The games were phenomenal. Every time I played them, every time I picked them up, I could not put it down. I had to limit myself on the time that I played them. They literally felt like I was going through and interacting with a movie experience all its own, right from the get-go. So, needless to say, I was quite excited to see that this movie was finally being made and produced. Finally got greenlit. It was in the works for 10 plus years.
10 years later.
With this movie being in development for 10 years, it touched the hands of 7 different directors. Think about that. This is something people have wanted and asked for nearly 10 years, and 7 different directors had to get involved with it until it finally got made. I am happy that they finally did this. I am happy that we finally got a live action of it. I did enjoy it. It has its downfalls. I don't want to play it up too much, but there are some shortcomings. Now, there's a caveat to that because I may be a little bit biased and a little bit swayed in my opinions due to my interaction and experience with the video game series. They are great subject content. They have super great characters and development that go on. There's great banter. There's personality to this entire franchise of games. This movie kinda let me down a little bit. I don't want to sit here and be a negative Nancy. It's still a good movie. Now, the reason why I'm saying that is because for a movie, for pure entertainment, it does its job. It hits all the points it needs to. It creates a great world for you to dive into. It gives you characters that you can like and get along with and kind of learn about and grow attached to. They did actually leave out certain characters from the video game series, which another downfall in my opinion. But they did create and add a few extra characters to the story.
Well, my work here's done.
This movie, if you're into any type of swashbuckling or treasure hunting, anything of that sort of adventure, this movie's gonna hit some notes for it. The games do a fabulous job at doing that. They're beautifully made. Their environments are gorgeous and detailed. The characters are super charismatic and have a personality that you can feel, that you can get into and you can adapt to, join, and give a shit about, and actually grow with as the series continues. The movie, on the other hand, does most of this right. It does the environments really well. Cinematography is great. The imagery's gorgeous. Even the CGI effects are done really well and tastefully. There's a bunch of spots where you don't really notice that it's happening. You kinda can, but it's hard. They do a great job at smoothing things over, especially the scenes that they borrowed straight out of the games 3 and 4. The iconic scene, if you played the games, of the cargo ship having the tail hang out with all the cargo boxes, they did a wonderful job on. The scene with the heist They did a great job. Am I intriguing you yet? Do things like this make you excited? Cargo plane, what? Hanging out of it, off of it, skydiving? What's going on in this film? There's tons of things like to quench your appetite, to keep you in tight, to keep you engaged. I really enjoyed certain things about this movie. The sound is great, the visuals are great. They do a really great job. Now, some of the other downfalls in this movie. Characters themselves. Like I said, they left some out that I feel like they should have added. Elena. Love interest development. Nothing there. Sully. He's his right hand, but in this movie, he kind of feels less like a mentor and more like an acquaintance that you kind of can, kind of can't trust. To me, that's the writer's fault. I'm not sure if they completely understood the source material or played the games or not.
Put some respect on it.
And then Nathan. Tom Holland, Mark Wahlberg, Antonio Banderas, just name a few of the cast that's in this movie. Tati Bernadette, great job as Joe Broderick. Santiago, great job. But their scenes are kind of limited. Broderick gets a little bit more, Tati's part gets a little bit more screen time. Antonio Banderas, not that much. They're not exactly antagonists that come from the game either, but they do a good job of feeling like a little bit of a mesh of a few of them. I thought their acting was all great. I wish there would have been more of Antonio Banderas in some capacity, but he does a great job portraying the traits that he needs to for his character. Tom Holland does a great job playing a rendition of Nathan Drake, but it's not the Nathan Drake that we know and love and come to expect. It's not the Nathan Lake that comes to life in the games through the voice actor Norfolk. I wish they would have kept to a little bit of that, because this movie, between those characters, that's a little bit where the shortcomings in their personality and that attachment you have comes in. Because they deviate a lot in backstory for Nate and Sully. They deviate a lot in development of their relationship. It plays a little... it's there, but for a truist and enthusiast, a fanatic like me from the series, you're gonna feel a little bit let down, I think.
Come on, man.
Again, that doesn't mean this is a bad movie. That doesn't mean what they did is horrible. It's not bad. It's actually decent. I really do enjoy the fact that they did take those liberties and made it work. I just wish that we can get a video game movie franchise that actually sticks to the source material, that actually just brings it to life. Some might say, well, that's boring. We know already what's going to happen, what's happening. That's okay, though, because we've only got to see it in 3D form, animated through our interactions of the game and how it plays out in cutscenes. To get physical, actual people creating these characters, making me feel like they are 100% these characters, is what Hollywood needs to aim for. And I think a lot of us will agree that it falls short whenever these movies come out, these game movies. I mean, Doom, come on, right? Resident Evil, we almost got a good version of it in the last one that was on Netflix, but now the series is out. I don't even know what they did there. To be honest with you, Max Payne, the Prince of Persia, Sands of Time, there's been a few downfalls, which Max Payne was Marky Mark as well. I just wish they would stick to what makes those games so great and those stories so enticing that everybody sunk their teeth into and made them continue to play those games. I did not want to put Uncharted down when I started playing it, and I didn't play it until years and years later. Like, if I'm not mistaken, it was one of the early games, the biggest games, first titles for the PlayStation 3. I didn't play it until PS4 generation, and I really enjoyed it. And then each next episode that came after it upped the ante more and more with its cinematics, with its story. It was beautiful to watch this development and this growth in this game, these characters, these atmospheres, the feeling they give you, the interaction and banter between the characters in the games. Slightly let down by it, but I will attest, it is a decent movie. If you're a person who has no clue what these games were, you're probably going to be like, what is this guy complaining about? This is a great movie, and you're not wrong. But if you're a person that's enjoyed the games, played them all, and like me, got to play them back to back to back, and then had to wait for 4 like everybody else did, you're going to want more. And the good part about this is, one of the only spoilers I'm going to give you, is that there's another one coming. There's a few of them. Seems like Sony's got in the works to make this a franchise move as well. So, let's give you the synopsis and the backdrop, right? You got a kid who, relatively in his probably mid-20s, like Tom Holland is, who's a pickpocket in New York City / bartender, gets scouted by a character named Sully, played by Mark Wahlberg, to go on an adventure. Basically, they're looking for the treasure of Magellan. They have a piece of the puzzle. There's plot development and things that occurred that, again, don't stick to the game story, but at the same time play well for the movie. And how it all groups up, and how there's a past for Nathan, there's a past for Sully. Characters that interact in the movie have passed together. So they do a good job at that. The treasure hunt gets very exciting. There's changes of scenery. There's danger involved. There's suspense. There's just a good feeling of urgency and excitement and mysticism that occurs within the movie, which is what you want from a treasure hunt movie. Now, with some of the mysticism that occurs in the movie, it's lacking from the games, because the games always had a little bit of a sense of, oh no, something's going to happen if we're beat to the treasure. There's always a feeling of some type of like spirituality or some type of like catastrophic event that occurs if the antagonists get to it first before Nathan and Sully. Where it doesn't hit all the points for me is there's not enough of those things that makes a treasure hunt movie that super exciting. Oh, this is so great. This to this to this to this to this. This feels very linear, and there's not a lot of extra little things that kind of help build the scenario of them getting along the story and progressing it to find the lost treasure. They do a great job with finding the lost treasure. They do a great job of kind of just hitting you with certain things and giving you certain things, and it just kind of like, oh, there's that. Oh, there's that. There's a few things that I wish they would have elongated on and stretched out. Again, I enjoyed the movie. The movie was a decent movie. You're like, why does this guy sound like he's putting down the movie? I'm not putting down the movie. I want to know what you thought about the movie. Does this make you want to watch the movie? Make sure you're letting me know in the comments below. Make sure you're hitting that bell so that you know when all of these videos are coming out, all these extra talks are coming. I want to know, am I hitting on point? Am I crazy about my takes on these movies? Did you enjoy them? What you thought about them? Where do we agree and disagree? So make sure you're leaving them down in the comments below. Now, some of the other things that occur in the movie that are super exciting is the scenery changes, the atmosphere, and that's one of those things that hits super hard in the games. They did it so beautifully, all the detail work, all the little artifacts and all these different things that make you want to keep going and keep looking around and feel like you're a treasure hunter, like you're somebody who's looking for long lost things to help you on your journey. Signs, if you will. Elements around you that help you down the path. They do an okay job with it. They do. Now, part of the situation with this is, again, I feel like it's the writers. I feel like the writers just didn't really fully commit to the source material, and they kind of truncated a few things to condense it to make it work for a movie, which I understand how Hollywood movie works, and they have to do that for the time limits that they have. But I feel like certain things could have been easily thrown in, or easily just kind of flashbacked or just mentioned to give you a sense of it for the backstory without altering it and what made certain aspects of the story so great. Because let's be honest, they're taking something that's already there established and they're turning into another media. So why do they have to change it? All these different movie games that we've talked about do it. Some of them do it better than others. Sonic the Hedgehog, both those movies, great movies. I'll be reviewing them as well. Make sure you're paying attention for those drops. This one and the new Sonics are the closest we get to like near perfect transitions from gaming media to movie and film. And they do a great job. There's still certain things that they don't keep in some of those movies as well. But this newer, there looks like people are finally paying attention, studios, writers, directors, to what the actual fans want. I understand you gotta get other people in the masses to enjoy the film and want to see the film. I just feel like the reason the film was even made, or even pitched, or even thought of as an idea to be transitioned to a film was because you knew it would sell because it sold once before, and you know that there's following behind it. So people are gonna want to go see it that already know the story. So just stick to it. And then I guarantee you, the people that are just coming on board now will get on board. They will enjoy it. They'll probably fall in love and enjoy all of the same aspects and hate some of the same aspects that we hated in the games and loved in the games. Now, the cast is really good in this. Tom Holland does a phenomenal job portraying his character as Nathan Drake. He doesn't fit or look like him. They do a good job with costume design to give you the notion that it's Nathan Drake, that it's Sully or whatnot. And even at the end, there's an end credit scene, so make sure you stay past it. And you're gonna watch a little bit of what's to come. It's gonna give you a taste. And there are some cool nods in this movie to the games anyway. Not only does that voice actor that plays Nathan Drake in the games make an appearance and actually talk to Nathan Drake with a bit of a understanding about the situation that just occurred, but they also, in the end credit scenes, bring it back to not only the attire that's there, that's iconic, with Nathan wearing the ring, which he wears all movie, the ring on the band, the leather band that he wears, but the holsters make an appearance by the end of the movie. At the end of the movie, the attire that Sully's wearing is straight out of the game. The attire that Nathan's wearing for the upcoming film, straight out of the game. They make a nod to the mustache of the character Sully, straight out of the game. Kudos to them for that. I hope on this next one, they go back to moving the pieces around the way they did for this one to make it work, but closer to the original, because that now that we have the backdrop, they have room to play going forward, but I think they need to do it delicately for the masses. So it's going to be a little bit of a balancing act.
You're going pretty far.
Two things I wish this movie did a little bit better in and had more of because of the game as well is a little more gunplay and a little more fisticuffs.
Let me get him. Let me get him.
There's only a few scenes of some type of physical altercations. It doesn't come till later in the movie. And then also the gunplay as well. There was really only one or two scenes that showed and brandished guns, and they were pretty quickly disarmed. But we do have future movies coming. The game is originally kind of a duck and cover game where you have to strategize to eliminate enemies. You have to use your surroundings. You can distract people with things. You can shoot from over cover and stuff like that, behind, under, around. So things like that should be a thing that they show in these movies as well, because it was a main factor in gameplay for the movie. But needless to say, this is still a quality film. This is still a great movie. Anyone who loves adventures like I do. It gives you history, it gives you treasure, it gives you friendship and character development. It gives you all the things that makes a great, exciting adventure take place and be molded around. So they do a great job with that. With that being said, what am I going to give this as a rating? Tell you what, I feel like they stuck to about 75-80% of what the game was as a whole. And that's pretty much where I fall with the movie itself as a whole. I don't think this is a spectacular movie. I don't think it's the worst movie. I think it kind of falls somewhere in the average above average range. So if we're scoring it from 0 to 10, this one's going to be a 7.5 for me. Based on cinematography and theatrics, the visuals are stunning. The characters are actually good and portrayed well and acted out well. Yes, there's shortcomings in some of the writing. Yes, there's shortcomings in some of the legacy of the games. But at the same time, more good than bad in it.
That's pretty good.
With that being the 7.5, what would you give this one after you watch it? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to hit the like, to subscribe, and follow for the next pieces of content, because I have a ton of them coming. Next review you're going to probably see is going to be the Batman that just came out with Robert Pattinson. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Go back and watch the MCU reviews, all the episodes. It's about 26 or 27 of those. You're not going to want to miss those conversations that Sturdy and I had. They are longer, but that's because there's two of us presenting, giving our take, talking about some of the situations and scenarios in the movie. And I really hope you get to dive into them just as much as we did, and you can join the conversation in the comments as well. You can always catch the Midnight Matinee at 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time every Saturday night or Sunday morning for you, or you can go back and watch them later. It's streamed on Twitch, and they're always uploaded to YouTube as well. Anybody else want to say anything else? You want to give me any recommendations? Please go ahead, leave them in the comments, and I'll get to reviewing them, and we can talk about those as well. It's the Worst Damn Gamer reminding you that in order to be the best, sometimes you gotta be the worst, and that's what I'm doing for you. I'll see you guys soon. Hope you enjoy. Have a great movie going experience. Peace.